In this video we're going to show you how to use VirtualBox. Download the VMware image from the Moodle. Then Google for VirtualBox. It's at virtualbox.org. Go to the download section. Download the DMG file for Mac OS X. Takes a little while. It'll open up to an archive. You need to click on the .mpeg file. It does a normal installation. You don't need to restart your computer for this. Just click continue, accept the EULA, select the drive, and enter your password. You need to have administrator privileges to install it. Then navigate to where the application is and start it up. Then go find where your VMware image was downloaded. I may have to do this step only. It may not necessarily have to be done by you, because I have both VMware and VirtualBox installed. I need to remove the .vmware VM extension, because otherwise I see the directory as just a file rather than as a directory that I can navigate into using Finder. Now I'm ready to go back to VirtualBox and start building a new virtual machine. Click New. Give it some meaningful name. Note that VirtualBox will just use the existing disk drive. It won't move it or copy it to another location. Give it more memory. Select Use Existing Drive. Navigate to where your virtual VMware folder was. And you're going to enter the VMware folder, and you're going to look for a file that ends in a .vmdk. That's a virtual machine disk image. You'll actually see a number of them. One of them doesn't have a number. That's what you want to use. There's different formats for virtual disks. So in the future you might see different ones there that you'd want to be able to accept. Now click Finish. Now you need to configure the system to enable one option that's really important for the virtual machine that we're using. You need to enable PAE support. It's under the Processor tab. You can also enable acceleration if your machine supports it. I wouldn't worry about it at first. Now start your virtual machine. You'll see a BIOS splash prompt that comes up, says VirtualBox, then your machine will start to boot. Right after that, after about 30 seconds to a minute, you should get a machine that's up and running. Now the complication is that as you resize the window, the display or desktop doesn't resize. You can't necessarily fix this within the virtual machine itself. What we need to do is to install device drivers that VirtualBox understands that provides an alternative video display rather than the one that's being used already. So what we need to go is to the system and then install driver extensions. That'll mount a CD-ROM on the top of your desk. Use the df command to figure out where it mounted it, and then go to Media CD-ROM 0. That's where it mounted it on my system. And then there's a script vbox linux additions-x86.run. You want to run that using sudo / and then that name. Sudo will ask for a password. The password for the user account named user is just user. It's now going to try compiling the file, and it'll take a little while, 1 or 2 minutes to be able to do that. My screenshot here shows that I had to remove a previous edition of that. Once that's installed, you'll need to restart your system as it tells you to be able to do. Once you do that, you'll be able to resize the window and the desktop will scale. You don't need to go back to the display preferences or anything else. You can just drag the corner of the Mac window and be able to get it to come in and out. By the way, to get your mouse back out of VirtualBox, you press the left Apple button. The right Apple button. And that'll take care of getting you back into the Mac world for things. Now you need to unmount the CD-ROM, or otherwise it's going to appear every time you reboot the system. Tragically, you can't just select unmount CD-ROM. What you need to wind up doing, there's two different places you can do the same thing. But what you need to do is go to the equivalent of the Finder by double-clicking on one of the folders, and then ejecting the CD-ROM, just like you would on Mac OS. Now it's all gone. And now you can mount some other CD-ROM, the actual CD-ROM or another DVD-ROM disk image. Now you should be able to restart your system, and it should work perfectly fine, just like the people are using VM Player.